I guess it started with my great-grandmother back in Germany. She came to America with her twin sister. She married my great-grandfather, and they had my grandfather Bernard. He met Helen Schmidl and they got married and had my dad. Dad liked cowboys and Indians. He liked Buck Rogers. He liked fast cars and things that could fly. So he became an aeronautics engineer and got a job with Lockheed. Became a rocket scientist, but not the kind that explores space. Something quite different than that. During the Cold War, it was my dad who kept us all safe. He was protecting our country against the threat of war with the former Soviet Union. He believed with a passion in what he did for his family. My dad was my hero. Maybe that's why I joined the Marines. I wanted to be like him, to serve my country and make him proud. But like my senior drill instructor told me, even the best laid plans don't always get you laid quite the way you plan, Marine. The Iraqis invaded Kuwait. We were going to war. I left, spent a couple years overseas, and when I came home, things had changed. A lot of Marines I knew were having a hard time fitting back in. I mean, you train together, some don't make it back, but it always stays with you. You have issues and skills that just aren't made for civilian life. So we decided to go to Mexico. Four years and a lifetime later, I found myself in Reclusorio Norte, prison in Mexico City. It was a baptism of fire, but I learned the rules and how to survive, play the game, at least until I could get out, back to the city and my associates. Then they sentenced me to 10 years. I started reading and writing like never before.
Collected works of Dickens.
Everything I ever wanted to read but never had the chance to.
Collected works of George Bernard Shaw.
It was like an escape.
Poems by Browning, Shelley, Keats. Great dramas of the world. Books, books, all the books I'll need, all the books I'll ever want. Shelley, Shakespeare, Shaw, all the books I want.
My buddy Carlitos had a brother who would buy everything I needed from this bookstore near UNAM. Reading and writing were my refuge from the murder and mayhem that surrounded me. I filed for an appeal in my case, and I dug in and held my breath. It was all I could do.
And the year after, and the year after that, and the year after that. And the best thing, the very best thing of all, is there's time now. There's all the time I need and all the time I want.
Years later, after living in Cabo again, then Hawaii with my wife and son, Eddie contacted us. He was shooting a documentary about his life called Patriot Hustler, and he wanted me to come to California to edit the film, write his story. My wife and I agreed. He'd brought everyone over from Mexico to talk about what a badass he was. I didn't agree with the high profile, the project, but we had a deal I wouldn't do an interview on camera. But like always with Eddie, all bets were off.
Into a big fight and everybody gets in a big crowd, you know, and they're chanting Mexico, Mexico, and that's what gets me going. You know, my family's Mexican and my children are Mexican, but I love my country. I'm an American. No matter where I'm at, I'm an American, and nobody's gonna talk shit about America in front of me. So
yeah, Eddie's definitely a patriot, so No matter what, if America...
That was the last time I would see Eddie. I took my wife and son and headed up the Pacific Coast Highway to Santa Cruz. And here we are. 22 Degrees is in conversation with all of these experiences. It is a novel that takes place over 6 days in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The first story is The Expatriate. It's about life, death, and flamenco.